Hello YouTube, welcome to the Wolf Catchers channel. Glad you guys are stopping by and checking in. So just wanted to post this video up. I was writing the watch list, just posted it up on the website a couple hours ago, and during my time while I was charting and everything, I came across some charts that caught my attention and just thought it'd be nice to go ahead and show them here. A couple names, it's about 4 charts. I want to go through on the daily and for the weekly for them, and just to show you what I see on the charts and things of that nature. And the reason I picked these is because they kind of caught me by, I wouldn't say surprised, they were just interesting, kind of like maybe want to go dive in a little bit deeper. And just wanted to share with you what I see. And again, if you guys do like these type of videos, just definitely leave a like, comment down there on the bottom. And also don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of this content, and we'll definitely appreciate it. One other thing, just want to make sure if you didn't get a chance yet to watch the other charting videos, please go back and definitely go ahead and check those out. Give you some more insight on the way I look at charts and my thesis and how I go about it. Again, I'm not a day trader, option trader, or swing trader, long-term investor, and I'm looking more so for things that hit my moving averages. I like to go after discounts, depending on 10% off, 20% off the highs, things like that. And just a quick disclaimer, not a financial advisor. This is all for educational purposes and for informational purposes. And let's go ahead and dive into it. So we're going to start off with Robinhood. So if you looked at the watch list to start off the year in January, you would have seen that Robinhood was pretty much the best performer, one of the best performers on the watch list. And as you can see here, definitely not living up to it to start off 2026. So we're on the daily chart here, and you can see here, all the way from this high back in October, got pretty choppy, and then sold off. It's been selling off since. So it's sitting at the 200-day moving average for the daily, and it's trading kind of right beneath it right there. And it looks like it's kind of been more so in kind of free fall. Drops, consolidates a little bit, drops, and consolidates some more. So definitely, name is being sold off, but obviously you've been keeping up with it. Robinhood has been a great comeback story based on all the innovation it's done and the new products it's come out with, things such as prediction markets and all that type of stuff that it's bringing to its platform, and it's kind of trying to become the financial super app for you. Do everything in one app in terms of all your brokerage, your investing, your deposits, direct deposits, banking, crypto, even like I said, the prediction markets. And then now it has the Robinhood Legend, and then it got the kind of like the AI investing thing going on too as well. So definitely looking forward to see how the future unfolds, but definitely has been selling off a bit. And again, you can look at that moving average right to that 200-day SMA as an opportunity probably to scale into there. Obviously, take caution with it. You can also see the RSI definitely is heading into that oversold. It's kind of, you see that little blue right there, so it's in that oversold territory. So as we know, when it's oversold, pretty much signaling that this name's a little hated right now. A lot of people trying to get rid of it. That's not saying it's a good time to buy. Right there, you also want to get confirmation across multiple things. So like me seeing the moving average, me seeing the RSI, and then the MACD showing some momentum to the downside. Stuff like that is all good confirmations for me to be like, okay, I'll take a look at it. Maybe nibble here, start a position, stuff like that. So that's usually how I look at it when it comes to names that I do like. And again, for transparency too, everything on the watch list doesn't mean it's something I own, or it's in my like I said, my son's portfolio, it's in his portfolio. These are just names that I do like. So I watch a variety of names, a variety of stocks that pique my interest, and that I think would be good in any type of portfolio for the most part. Like for someone who's just starting out, this is probably a name you should throw to your portfolio. That's how I kind of build my watch list out. Doesn't mean that I'm trying to own 20, 30 stocks. Because again, you do that, you might as well have your own index fund. That's my take on it. So let's go ahead and look at the weekly. So you can see here on the weekly, same thing. Definitely drawing down here. It's almost approaching that 50-day moving average. I mean that 50 weekly moving average here. So hit there. You can also see way back here when it did touch that back in Liberation Day. Hit that, obviously went on a tear, ran up. So not saying that history repeats itself, but it's a good indicator that if it does hit this again, you probably could see a bounce off of that as well, due to its the past history there. Same thing, you see the RSI. RSI is at 43 right here, and then the MACD showing you some strong downward momentum. So falling hard and falling fast. So that's Robinhood. Let's go ahead and look at the next name on my list. Something that I actually have like a personal bias to, because I feel like everyone kind of wants to be an entrepreneur. And I do feel like Shopify is one of those names that definitely caters to the people that are tired of the 9 to 5 or trying to figure out their own thing. So I do see a bright future for them, and they proved it too as well. For last year, they were one of the top performers too on the watch list. Had a great year, but again, starting off 2026, they're not being rewarded. Same as Robinhood isn't being rewarded. So definitely some risk being taken off the table for this one. It's going to hit its high way back here in October as well. Then got real choppy, fell to the 100. Then rose back up a little bit, kind of held it, and it fell here into this range to start off the year. Then tanked towards mid-January and to close it out. So it looks like we fell all the way down to the 253-day SMA. And then, so that 200 and that 253 is kind of where it's hanging out at. And kind of building a home there. Let's see if it does stabilize out for the next sessions coming up. But again, those moving averages, pretty good entry points for that. You see the RSI way down here, basically at 30. And same thing with the MACD. You see down here showing that there is some strong momentum to the downside still for this name. So again, another name that stuck out to me that I saw on the charts that I was like kind of piqued my interest, showing that it's not loved right now. Definitely got some hate going towards it. And again, this is when you find your opportunities. Find your opportunities to probably build a position, try to figure out the narrative, what's going on behind it. Why is this stock being hated on so much? What's the cause for it? Do your own research, go in there and try to figure those things out. But things like this you see, especially like I said, quality names, quality companies. Try to look to see more what's into it, and then also these opportunities again that come every once in a blue moon. As you can see here, the last time it's touched the 200-day and the 253, you can't even see it on the past year here. So it's definitely been more than a year since it's hit those levels. So let's go ahead and look at the weekly. So then for the weekly, you see hit a key point right here, the 50 moving average right here. And then you can see down here where it did hit like pretty much all the moving averages at once. But once it hit that and kind of settled, took off and rocketed up all the way to a new high. Not saying again that's what's going to happen here, but it hitting the key moving average is a good indicator that maybe it's going to stop here, stabilize, and then run back up. But always, again, as I mentioned before in the past videos, do tranches, allocate a portion of your portfolio of your capital here. Don't go all in and dive in at the first sign of opportunity. Scale your way into the trade or into the position if you're a long-term holder. And usually rinse and repeat. Do that every time it hits a point that you like to buy. scale in, and then let it ride back up to the top. So we see here too with the RSIs at 42, not oversold because we're looking for 30 is anything 30 and below is oversold, but as you can see from this angle here, definitely approaching it. Then you can also see from the MACD and then also the histogram, definitely showing that momentum is definitely strong towards the downside for this name. And again, another name that's not being rewarded by the market right now, not being loved right now. Let me go ahead to our next name. This one right here, we've known for a while that this has been beaten up very, very bad. So this is Netflix. And as we can see here, Netflix has been on a strong downward trend all the way since, I think this is some summer. Yeah, all the way from summer of last year. It's been trading down. It's been blowing past all these moving averages, even to our longest one, the 400-day SMA. Fell below that. And that's why I usually like to call it no man's land. Because usually, like I said, I look at a year's worth of data for my daily chart. So no man's land is pretty much over here. In terms of there's nothing else that I see that it could, fall to, have support at. So usually for me, like on my watch list, I'm just gonna put the recent low it had. $82 is where I'll put it at in terms of opportunity. And then this one, I'm gonna look at some longer time frames to show you, like, I guess the gravity of this drop so far in this name. It's been actually pretty bad. And I know it has a lot going on with the Warner Brothers deal, all that stuff about the capital is going to spend to try to get and acquire those assets, all that type of stuff. Netflix historically obviously is a great name. You've been a long-term shareholder in it. It's rewarded you greatly, and it's just having this moment right now where it's being punished by the market. Definitely being sold off a lot and sold off, even though it shows 6 months, but it kind of feels like it's been happening quickly in bunches as the selling off is going on, especially after it had split. That 10-to-1 split it had definitely looks like it slowed that up too as well. And then you can see we've been definitely on the RSI, been bouncing around and oversold territory for a while. Kind of gets out of it at some point, but then goes right back into it. So definitely being suppressed right now. Same thing with the MACD. It's pretty much flat, not showing any momentum to the upside or downside. Pretty much no life in it right now. It's kind of like a flatline stock, even though it's selling off, but it's pretty much almost like left for dead. And this is again another time too where you kind of peek your head around the corner, kind of see, hey, that looks pretty good over there. Probably a good opportunity for me to build a position in because again, someone bought it way back here at 134 at a high, and now it's down all the way down to $83. So definitely getting a way better deal than this person who bought it up here at 134 because you're playing the waiting game, sold off, now it's down here. But again, who knows how much further it can go, right? But it's not a good idea, not a bad idea to probably start looking at it, start uh, marking out your prices, things of that nature that pique your interest in what you want to go into for that. And then let's go look at the weekly on this. The weekly tells the same story. Definitely look at all these weeks of straight red and then straight selling off. Then same thing. This is like copied all across each one, right? RSI is nothing but tanking to oversold. MACD, same thing, all the way down towards momentum to the downside. And then you see this 100-day, it's 100 moving average right here. Might be a good indicator to pick a position up at and start. Let's see when we spread out. Last time it hit here, it's kind of way back here. That was a 200, 253, and 100. So that's all the way in 2023, October. So you're looking like you have a good 2 years and change has passed since this opportunity that's coming around. So again, definitely historical opportunity here. Also, don't know if it's gonna keep on falling, so definitely be cautious with it. But that is very interesting here that I noticed here on that chart. And then for this one, they want to go to a longer time frame. We're gonna look at the monthly, and just so you can see how actually bad this is. So see right here, you got 4 months of selling off, and then back to that 82 kind of being the point where it's like probably going to be going to free fall, because this candle over here, the low is 82.11, and this candle right here, the low is 82.35, and the candle for the month that we just ended in January should be 81.93. So $82 is right at that sweet spot. If it doesn't, if it's not able to hold that and continues falling, the next candle down here, the bottom for this one is 74.78. So on a monthly chart, if it doesn't hold that 82, looks like it could keep on falling down into free fall to 74.78, possibly, if this trend continues right here, as we see. And the same thing, you see RSI's at 47. It's not too bad. Definitely kind of in the middle, near 50. But that MACD, you see, turned over, crossed over right here. Histogram showing some bright red here. So it's definitely not weakening. And definitely not a good sign when you line up all those things together. So hopefully Netflix could turn around. But again, you do want opportunities to arise to allow you to go ahead and get some good positions. It just hurts you, and it sucks if you're the person at the top that got in and that had FOMO and bought their way in. And then my last name here to close it out is United Rentals. As you may have seen on the first watch list to start off the year, United Rentals was one of those names that I added on the watch list due to its impact on like physical infrastructure play for AI. So United Rentals, rents out the equipment used in construction, things like that. So I looked at it as a nice way to get access into AI without being tied to the chips and being tied to anything else that isn't in terms of that circular economy going on, that whole situation with Nvidia, and then who's paying who's had this going on. United Rentals, either way, still gonna make their money because they're renting out the equipment. It's gonna be for everyone else to follow suit on what they got to do to go ahead and make sure that data centers are built out, this and that. But United Rentals, they're pretty free and clear. They just gotta rent out the equipment, and then y'all using the equipment to build out the stuff that y'all promised to your shareholders and whoever you have obligations to. But for them, they kind of sit pretty nicely in this whole realm of things, just being able to rent out the equipment on these multi-year contracts. And I liked how they're situated and placed in this whole framework of things. But we did see here, start off the year definitely strong, trading above all moving averages, and then tanked right here to close out the month. Tanked, nice gap down, and fell all the way down to the 400 moving average. So that was definitely eye-opening for me. See here that the falling pretty much stopped here. So let's see if that's going to lead to this kind of trading within this bar here. So this could be considered like a mother bar. So let's see if this is going to continue trading in here. And as we see here, sellers bought it all the way down here at this wick, and then buyers came back in to push it back up. So definitely let it know that we did get some support, some stability here. Then obviously the next day to close out the month, it's kind of a doji candle right here, some indecisiveness here in terms of who's in control at the moment. But we definitely, probably based on this candle and based on how this closed, probably gonna be stuck in a range for a couple of days or a few sessions when directions figured out and pretty much who wins out. But we definitely know sellers for the most part won out with this huge sell off. And then obviously we see here that this is around earnings. So definitely, yeah, you can see here earnings was estimated at $11.90 for earnings per share, and then they only got $11.09. So looks like they didn't hit the earnings estimate. Led to sell off. There's probably some more stuff too in terms of guidance, things of that nature that I didn't get a chance to look into that probably led to it. But again, for traders, the earnings report that does hurt. But if you're a long-term investor, again, like I said, earnings reports take it with a grain of salt. If the story didn't really change for your investment for your company, it's a bad earnings report. People didn't like what they said on the earnings call, they didn't like their numbers, stuff like that. But fundamentally, if the business is still good, still doing what you believe it should be doing, it's still operating how you think it should be operating, the story didn't change, stuff like that. Just look at these drop-offs after earnings reports as opportunities to go ahead and scale into a company you already like. The person who bought it up here, yeah, they're hurting, but if they bought it at 1,021, you sure as hell should buy it at 782. So if you're willing to spend that much of it out here, you might as well be more than happy to get it up here, right? But again, this is why you always wait for price to come to you if you can. Or next best thing is the dollar cost average, but definitely don't go chasing a high and trying to buy it just because you want to catch the run up or you want to miss out, and then you cost yourself 15-20% because you try to chase 5%. Definitely not worth it. But yeah, we see here with the gap down, RSI pretty much at 30, it's at 31, so pretty much at oversold. And then same thing, MACD basically took a nosedive with this crossover here, and then definitely has some strong momentum to the downside. So definitely gonna look for it to stabilize here, stop dropping, and consolidate and trade with inside this bar for a while. Let's go ahead and look at it on the weekly. So then, same for the weekly, almost mother bar-like activity. Fall all the way down to the 100 SMA here. And you can see here back in the past, this is around Liberation Day area, so March, April. You can see how it fell to the 100 as well. And then formed a nice little base, then ran up, formed the base at the next moving average, 72 and 50, and then ran up to a new all-time high. And you see the story kind of almost repeated in reverse. It almost fell to the 50 and 72, but then ran up, and now it fell to the 100. So another indicator that might be a good opportunity to start nibbling, building a position there. See with the RSI is at 42, and the MACD for the most part it's kind of confusing right here. You see here it is showing a little bit of a curl towards the downside, but for me, I would just put this as this is neutral, nothing decisive yet in terms of momentum. But there is a little curve here to show that it's rolling to the downside, right? And then a little bit on the histogram, see that little bit of red is popping up. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys while I was doing my watch list, putting out everything. Those are charts that popped up for me in terms of I think would be a good idea to make a quick video on these to show what I see and show what the charts are saying for the most part in these names. I will leave a link to the watch list in the bottom description of this video. Again, I do make a watch list. Try to post it every first of the month. Has the entry points in there and also what I see on the charts, and then also usually starts it off with a narrative recapping last month, what we're looking forward to next month and kind of beyond. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And also, if you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to share with me, you can always leave it down below in the comments. You can also email me at thewealthcatcher@yahoo.com. What else can I say? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have for you guys. Definitely appreciate you stopping by, spending some time and getting some insight. Always feel free to drop any ticker symbols below that you want me to look at, any names that you're interested in, and definitely appreciate you guys stopping by. And we're going to see you in the next one. And always remember, catch and secure your wealth. Y'all have a great day.